Anya. And we're Tweeks. Tween, Geeks! This episode, we're going to be talking to Agnes Garbowska, Christina Rice, and Katie Cook, who we met at the Long Beach Comic Book Expo. They're the writers and artists of the My Little Pony comic books from IDW. Roll clip.
So I'm here with Agnes Garbowska. And you draw for the My Little Ponies comics, correct?
Yep, I've drawn on the main line, the Friends Forever, and the micro series, and lots of cover art as well.
That's so cool, and I love the My Little Pony comics. What's your favorite pony to draw?
It has to be Pinkie Pie because she has big, poofy hair, so it's always really fun. And I'm pretty sure every time I draw it bigger and bigger and bigger. So soon, I'm pretty sure her hair will consume her.
What's the hardest pony to draw?
Rarity, because she has all this spiry curls that are really hard to draw, and she has like this complicated tail. She's the only pony I still need to pull up reference because I just mess up her tail on a regular basis.
Who's your favorite background pony? It's like not necessarily the main six.
I would say it has to be Trixie. I've worked on her for 3 issues with the Friends Forever line and the main line, and I like her because she's so dramatic and hilarious, and she thinks she's all that, but she feels miserably, but that doesn't really stop her. She still keeps trying, so she always makes me laugh at her drama.
When did you start drawing professionally?
I started trying to get into comics about 10 years ago. I started getting a lot of small press and independent work. Then I started self-publishing in my own comics that could be found at agnesgarbowska.com. They're fun web comics for all ages. 2009, I really got my big break working for Marvel. So that was really cool. I got 2 short stories that I did for them. And then I continued self-publishing. And I guess I started getting some work here and there for Aspen, and really My Little Pony 2 years ago was my first steady published work, and I've been doing ponies and lots of cover art for other companies since then.
Now, do you have any advice for anyone who wants to draw?
Work your bum off. It's a very demanding job, and you have to love what you do, and you have to be committed. This really isn't a job for people who like to slack off, because you're not going to get anywhere. But if you're hardworking, you're dedicated, and you're willing to learn, like I'm still learning every day. I challenge myself. So you really have to challenge yourself, not make excuses, and just really try and don't give up.
I love your comics.
Thank you.
So, I don't know if I have a favorite one to write. You know, the cool thing about the characters is that they're very unique and they all have really strong voices. So I think they're all pretty easy to write and to capture. At least that was one of the things my editor Bobby always tells me, that I'm able to capture the voices, which is a huge compliment. My personal favorite pony is Twilight. I haven't written I actually did write one full story, so that was fun. My daughter's favorite pony is Pinkie Pie, and I'm actually terrified to write a full story with Pinkie Pie because she has so much energy that carrying that through 22 pages is a little bit intimidating. So I have to say, Pinkie Pie scares me. I might be one of the few people who Pinkie Pie scares.
When did you start writing for comics professionally?
So I started, I think it was about 2 years ago. So I actually was approached to write a story in Colonial Comics. So I was told to write any sort of story dealing with the Boston public school system of the, I think, 17th century. So that was my start in comics, which I really enjoyed. And I've been writing pony comics for about a year now. So I have 2 issues that have come out, but I've written 8 issues total. So I have lots of ponies coming out in the very near future.
The panel, you said you were a librarian, right?
Yes, I am a librarian.
Is that why Twilight's your favorite, or is there like another reason?
I think one of the reasons is, because Twilight lives in a library and she loves books and she loves research. So I work in a research library in downtown Los Angeles, so that's definitely one of the reasons why. She also, when the show starts out, she's very introverted. She likes to keep to herself and kind of just wants to do her own thing. I can totally relate to that with Twilight, but then she has her core group of friends who she relies on, and I'm the same way. So I definitely, on many different levels, can relate to Twilight Sparkle.
I love to read, so I relate to Twilight Sparkle, but actually Pinkie Pie is my favorite. I know you said you were kind of scared to write a Pinkie Pie comic, but if someone asked you to, would you?
Oh yeah, I'm not going to turn down the opportunity. So if I had the story, if I could thought I could carry her through a 22-page story, absolutely. I haven't been hit with it yet though. So yeah, Granny Smith, no problem. Ship is Magic Month, so every week is a villain. And so Tony Fleece and I did Lord T-Rex. It's a little sneak peek of one of the pages of the Lord T-Rex comic.
That looks so good.
I don't know if I can take any credit for how good that looks.
I love like the My Little Pony villains.
I'm not doing a Discord comic, which I kind of think Hasbro maybe wants to tackle him in the show at some point because he's kind of the main dude. But the rest of them, they're pretty evil. So I had a lot of fun writing Lord Tyrek. He's pretty awful.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we're here with Katie Cook, who is a writer and artist for the My Little Pony comics.
I am.
When was your first job writing and drawing professionally?
I've been drawing professionally for a lot longer than I've been writing professionally. I started getting a lot of freelance jobs back when I was in college. Then out of college, I started doing stuff for like MySpace Dark Horse Presents. I did a story for that. And then I didn't really start writing past my own little like 4-panel gag comics until Fraggle Rock. And then from there, I've done a Mouse Guard story and My Little Pony, and I've written over 20 issues of My Little Pony now. My favorite issue is the Rarity micro series. It's I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is kind of a burnt out hippie town. So I really drew a lot from that, and it was kind of like just my homage to a lot of people that I've known growing up, and I really like putting Rarity in an uncomfortable situation because she is comedy gold. She's amazing.
Can you tell us a little bit about Penelope Parker?
Penelope Parker is from the Spiderverse. Marvel asked me to reimagine Peter Parker as an 11-year-old girl. If this little girl had been bitten by the spider, how would she react to getting spider powers and things like that? So it was really fun because it was like, oh my God, I get to make up my own Spider-Man character and I get to have my own Marvel universe. Then all of a sudden it's like, okay, so if I were an awkward 11-year-old, how would I react to having superpowers? And so she freaks out and she has basically a panic attack, and it gets even worse, like more webs go slinging everywhere, and she has that just reaction of like, oh my God, this is gross. And and I love that aspect of her because if you're a girl, the worst power you can have is spider powers. She even says it, and she's like, why couldn't I have been bitten by a unicorn? This is awful. Spiders are gross.
Like, if I had spider powers, I would probably cry so hard.
It would be the worst superpower.
Yeah. Is there anything else we can expect from Penelope Parker? And I just think it's the coolest thing.
Really, it depends on Marvel. I think there's a market for it, and the second Marvel asks me to do more, I'll do more.
We'd love to get the tween push behind it.
Everybody tell Marvel more Penelope Parker.
More Penelope Parker.
At Marvel on Twitter, more Penelope Parker.
That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Check back every Thursday on ComicMix.com for new videos. Bye!